Hey FlossTube, I'm Kathleen and this is StitchuationNormal episode 15. Welcome to my channel, everyone. This is a cross-stitch channel, in case you didn't know. I mean, if you're on FlossTube, if you found FlossTube, it's because you've watched FlossTube, I'd like to say. I don't think you just stumble upon FlossTube unless you're either into cross-stitching or you've watched a FlossTube. So, I like to talk about cross-stitch. I like to talk a lot about everything, and I just want to give you a little update on my life before we get into all stitch stuff, so feel free to skip this part. But I've decorated myself and I've decorated my house, and if I have time at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a little mini tour of my decor in my house, which isn't fully finished. It's not an FFO house, but I'm almost done. Slow and steady, right? I maybe interrupted this video not by my husband, but by my 5-year-old who is home today because someone in his class has COVID. So everyone in the class has to self-isolate for 15 days, or 15. Episode 15, maybe that's why I said 15, I don't know. Anyhow, so he's here, he is in the basement right now playing on the Switch, and there is a timer in the kitchen, and he knows when that timer goes off, he gets a popsicle as long as he doesn't come up before the timer. So let's see if a popsicle is really worth it for a 5-year-old. I don't know. I think so. He really likes popsicles. Anyways, so yes, I've decorated the house. I'm feeling the Christmas spirit. I'm like, this hat, it's one of those, can you see it changes color when you go like that? This is a little boy's sweater that I got at the thrift store. I can barely get my head through the neck, but I really like it. So I have to stuff it on myself, and I just pull the sleeves up. Yeah, this is what we do for when we see Christmas things that we like, right? I also have a sweater that says it's lit, but I went with this one instead. Last week I talked about my Christmas trees and how my husband always picks the best one because we get a real tree every year. And then I told you about the one year I was giving him heck because I was like, this tree is so small. And then in the night, it dropped, and it was the biggest tree we ever had, and it like knocked itself over and knocked like everything in the surrounding area over. Well, this year that did not happen. This year's tree, I'll insert a photo. If you're on Instagram, you've already seen it. It is not Charlie Brown, but it is close to Charlie Brown. She's not the best tree, but we almost got another tree, but I was like, I cannot be the waste not want not lady if I'm just not using a perfectly good tree. So I decided to channel my inner Mr. Christmas and Martha Stewart and Jonathan Van Ness and every makeover person ever and tackle the tree, which I'm not good. I'm not good at that kind of stuff. Like, I try and I know what you're supposed to do. I just have I have trouble executing because I like to go fast. I like things to be done fast, and if it's not fast, then I don't know. My husband's always like, speed kills, and I'm like, that's related to his job, speed kills, but also it does when you're driving. But anyways, oh my goodness, the tangents I can go on. Anyhow, so I tried my best. I like took a bouquet of Christmas type flowers that I had, like fake flowers, and I like ripped them out of a jar and like rammed them into either side of the tree, and like, this is it. I love it. I'm happy with her. She got the makeover, she accepted it, and she's a smaller tree than what we're accustomed to, but we love her, and I'm glad we didn't just get another one. And what I always love about getting a real tree is it's different every year. I mean, I don't want it to be like this one every year, but my husband really likes it. He really, really likes this tree. As I'm talking, I'm looking at it because it's over in the corner. But yeah, so at the end of this video, if I don't get interrupted, I will do a little home decor tour and you can see that. I think that's all the updates on my life. I mean, yeah, my older son had his birthday and we had cake. I ate a lot of cake. It made me sick. That's it. That's my life update. I'm gonna go into comments. I have a finished object. I have some whips, a new start, some haul. Who knows? Who knows what I've got? Oh, I sent my Christmas cards out, finally, which felt good. But except I haven't sent out my Stitchy Friends stuff because I'm making some stuff for my Stitchy Friends, not cross stitch. I would never send a Stitchy Friend cross stitch stuff because I'd be embarrassed because I haven't perfected my stitches yet. I don't know if anyone ever really does, but you don't want to get that from me, but maybe you do. I shouldn't say that. Maybe it's like the thought that counts. Gift would be the stitch gift from me, but no, other stuff. I'm making other stuff and I'm sending it. And it might not get there for Christmas, Stitch friends, but I'm still gonna send it and it'll still be fun when you get it. Comments. I have some comments to go through. So, I don't know where I put them. That's why I'm like, what the heck? Here they are. Oh, so you guys left lots of comments about Mew. I am so sorry for all the angles of Mew you saw. Some of them were more pleasant than others. Yeah, she really revealed a lot of herself in that episode, so if you haven't watched, you might skip the end, but if you need a laugh, maybe watch the end because I get so frazzled by her. A few of you commented that you have the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, what is it called? Christmas Celebration Sampler, this one that I showed a couple times that I bought. So like, I'm getting a real Sal vibe, like a lot of you kind of maybe want to stitch along, so I'm gonna order the called for fabric. It has like glitter in it, and I'm such a glitter girl, as we know. So I'm gonna have to order it, and then maybe we can do a stitch along in 2021. I mean, if you want to start it now, you could start it now, but I'm gonna think about that. And because like I said, there were several of you that have it, and maybe some of you want to buy it. Let's do it. Let's stitch along. Christmas Celebration Sampler. And then the last comment was, oh, you guys gave me so much love on the Save the Stitches for last week, which was like the big, huge board that had all the floral work on it. It was embroidery. And I was like, why didn't you put it on plywood? And I was very confused about it and I wanted to know the story. Well, Sandy Ego Stitcher commented that she doesn't think that they had sticky board back when this was stitched, which she's probably right. And they definitely wouldn't have had sticky board big enough for that, and it would have cost a fortune to frame, which I suspected. She said, so plywood is a logical choice, even though I made it sound like a really stupid choice because I'm the stupid one. But yeah, that makes sense. I love learning about stitch history even, because I'm coming in this year where we have sticky board, we have Michaels, we have whatever, but I don't think I'd pay to have that professionally framed because of how big it is, so that makes sense. So if that was your stitch that I saved, please comment, even though I don't think you're on here, but I also don't think you're dead, so. Okay, save the stitches. Okay, so if you remember in the summer, I got a big haul from a woman named Shelly from Welland, and I just remember her name because it kind of rhymes with Welland, Shelly Welly. Shelly Welly. I'm sorry about that. So I don't actually remember like any contact info or where she lived or anything. I just remember she was from Welland. Her name was Shelly. So this was from her stash, and it is an unfinished object. It is this Smokin' Santa. He's got a pipe, and he's just not finished. He's so close. It's just the back stitch that's left on him. And it says 1991 there, and it's just, oh, he's got all the toys in his sack. It's a very traditional looking Santa, and I just feel like it needs to be finished. Also, you know what? She tried to wash it here and it bled a little, so I wonder if that's why she stopped. Or maybe she spilled something on it, but I think it's not that noticeable, and I think this would really be a beautiful piece. Like, look at her masking tape from 1991. And like her back, I'm gonna show her back, why not? It's pretty good compared to what my backs look like. So I'm hoping to track down this pattern and finish it one day. So as we know, I consider myself a bit of a detective. I'm not as good at a stitch detective as some of you guys are, but I will say that I did some investigating. Sorry, this sweater's a little itchy. I thought it was cute to wear, but I'm like a little hot and itchy. Where am I? I've got my notes and I'm just a little out of sorts because I was like racing to get the video started while little one is downstairs. Anyhow, I guess it's over here. No, it's lost. I don't know, guys. I don't know. No, I'm ahead of myself. Just breathe. This is a message for you out there. Just breathe. Just kidding, it's for me because I need to just calm down. Okay, so I have a very good visual memory. Like when I see a page, I remember what side of the page I read last. Like I remember numbers on pages. I remember a lot of details like that. not people's faces. I'm the worst, and I'm always stunned when people recognize me, but because I'm not good at recognizing other people. Anyhow, on Facebook, in one of the cross-stitch groups I'm in, someone finished that this year. They started it in 97, or yeah, they started it in like, actually maybe it was 93 they started it. And it was from a cross-stitch magazine that their mom had given them a subscription to. And they said the cross-stitch magazine was Cross-Stitch and Country Crafts Magazine. And so I thought, surely I'll have the chart from Shelly from Welland, but I don't. And I don't have that magazine. It wasn't in the stash she sent. So I do know the thrift stores that store all the old magazines. So I do believe it was in 1991, but I'm going to search 91 to 93. Maybe I should make it 90 to 93. That'll be my search for magazines of that might have him in there. So that's going to be, I'm going to show him again because he's so cute. He just needs like the rest of his eyes and like just some of the toy details, but like really she had done quite a bit of the back stitch already. There really wasn't that much left. So that's my Save the Stitches, because I almost just donated it, but I was like, no, I'm gonna keep this. Maybe something can be done with it. And then sure enough, it was only 2 weeks ago that I saw that on Facebook, and I was like, I think that's the same as the Santa, and I screenshot it. Screenshot things, guys. That's part of being a detective. You screenshot things. If you don't know what that is, it's when you take a picture of your screen. If you have an iPhone, it's the middle button and the power button, and you boop at the same time, and it takes a picture of it, okay? So make sure you screenshot things. That's part of being a detective. I'm not a professional detective, obviously, but if I were, that'd be part of the lessons I'd teach. So I screenshot it, and then I went and grabbed the actual, because I wasn't home when I saw that, and I didn't want to lose it, because you will lose things. If you're on Facebook and you're scrolling, you will lose it if you do not screenshot it. So anyhow, it matched. It was the exact same one, and I can actually contact her because I screenshot it. It has her name and it has the group it was in. Look at me cooking on this while I'm filming. Okay, so anyways, that's Save the Stitches. I thought it would be a fun one because it's a holiday one, and I don't know what I'm gonna do in 2 weeks when I film again. I think I might have another holiday one. So I just can't help myself. I have to have like holiday themes when it's a holiday. I like my TV shows to have a holiday theme when it's a holiday. I like the theme everywhere. The piano music I'm playing right now, it is only Christmas music. I have 3 favorite books. One is, not that anyone asked, but it is hard to come by. It is the Reader's Digest Christmas book, and I have a copy of it, and my mom has a copy of it, and I ordered one for my sister off Marketplace. Like, I found it on Marketplace way up north, and this lovely woman shipped it to me. So I gave that to my sister for an early Christmas present because she wanted one. And it's just the best Christmas book. But then I also found another one that's really, another couple. Anyways, I like Christmas, okay? So here we go. I have a finished object. Was that loud? Did I yell? So here we go. I may have. I have been working on Home for Christmas by Little Dove Designs. As you know, I was doing like a little section every 2 weeks, but then I had to speed it up because I want this to be done for this Christmas. And it is done, sort of. Okay, this is it. This is everything that was on the chart stitched in. But if you recall, I chose a fabric that was too light. It said don't choose a fabric that's too light because you won't see your snow or your snowflakes. Well, I didn't know because I was a new baby stitcher, and I chose this. And if we remember, the snowflakes weren't showing up. So I put a metallic floss around them, and then they really popped. So now I'm going to do that with everything. So I actually did it on this part of the snow here, and I am obsessed. And I can't stop, so I'm going to be going over this whole thing, like all the snowflakes in this border, which you can't even see because I made a mistake with this. It's called, it's a DMC, and it's called Diamant, and this is D415. That's the color of this. It's a silvery, it's a dark silver, because they have a lighter silver, but I didn't know because I had a loose like little bunch of this that I got at the thrift store, and I didn't know what it was, and that's what I started with, and then I found this, and it's like perfect match. So it's the darker one, and it looks beautiful on it, and so I'm gonna do this border, the snowflake border, and then like this border, and then maybe around him. I might overdo it, but I would like this done. I'd like to hang it for Christmas. If I don't get it done for Christmas, I'm not gonna sweat it because it's gonna look beautiful next Christmas when I hang it. We shouldn't be stressed out when we're cross-stitching, so that's what I'm not worried about it. I have fun, and that's what I do. Oh, there's this. So that's Home for Christmas. It's finished, but not, I'm like jazzing it up a little. You can jazz things up, okay? I don't think you needed my permission, but maybe you needed to hear me say, you can jazz things up. I jazzed up that tree. I'll jazz it. I jazzed up my head today with this hat. We can call this the jazzy episode. How about that? Okay, so if you recall, these are my whips now. We're on whips. That is a work in progress for people who do not know stitch acronyms. So I've been working on this one, Pumpkins for Sale. It is by Stitches Through the Years. And I said I was gonna stitch on it until the American Thanksgiving. And I keep, in case you're like, why does she keep saying American Thanksgiving? Because I live in Canada and we do that in October. That's our Thanksgiving is in October. So here it is. Isn't it just darling? This is half of it. I only got half of it done, but I really, really like how those pumpkins look. So I did some of the variegated flosses. I think I chose 3 of them. And then the rest is DMC. The DMC colors, I should have just done it all in DMC because it really, the colors are nice. They're really rich. And this was on a fabric that my friend Merritt Crawford gave me, and she was doing a stitch along with me, but she's a little quicker than me. And that's okay. She's the one that kicked my butt into doing it. So that's the fun of Sal's, right? It doesn't mean you all go at the same pace. It just means you're doing it together. So I'm looking forward to working on this again in the new year, but for now, that's a wrap on it. And I'm gonna bring it out next fall, and I'll be really excited to work on that then. Then again, another fallish piece, even though I've got my Santa hat and my Santa sweater and my Santa decor. This is by Plato Squirrel. I thought I was showing you the chart. No, this is just like the cover, so don't worry. I didn't accidentally show you. Sanderson Sisters, it's just a bunch of hocus pocus. If you remember, I was working on this for my sister for Christmas. I'm hoping to get it done for her for Christmas. I only did a little bit this week on it, but I think this past week, or 2 weeks, whatever. But I finished all the gals except for their shoes. And so I finished Mary. Mary was someone I hadn't finished yet. And then this is the start of the border here. Remember the busy border, see? I wanted to try to see like how intricate it is. It's not too bad. I just know I'm gonna make mistakes. But how much do you love this hat? I really like how the hat turned out. So I still have to put their brooms in, and there's some like, I have the writing. I think the writing won't take too long. So I think I can definitely get this done. Like I said, I haven't been putting that much time into it because I really want to get Home for Christmas done, and that's where my heart is with Home for Christmas. So a little bit more done on that one. And then I have a new start. That's again also where my time has gone. It is by Wee Little Stitches, and it's Goonies. I'm gonna link everyone's shop in the description, so if you like a chart, you can get it. So this is Goonies, and it says Never Say Die. This is my husband's favorite movie, or one of his favorite movies, but probably his favorite. And I want to stitch this for him for Christmas. So where are we? First of all, it took me a long time just to pull all the colors. Like, these are all the colors that are in it. This is my bag that my girl Anna made for me. Stitch Toolbox, love her. So this is like a lot. It's a lot of colors, but it's quick. I haven't showed it to you yet, but it's quick, right? So this is my, okay. I dyed this. I wanted it to look like a treasure map, right? Goonies vibe, Goonies theme. So we have like the treasure map look here. And then I've made one of our guys, I think it's Mouth. I don't even actually know. Let's see. Yep, it's Mouth. So I finished Mouth, and I've still got like 5 more people to stitch in there, but actually I have some hands. There's some hands in there. So yeah, this is my little, oh actually no, I didn't finish his hair. His hair's almost done. So I'm hoping I can get this done. This is just gonna go in like a little frame. Just a regular frame. It's not, the finishing on this isn't gonna take long. So I could stitch it Christmas Eve, finish it Christmas Eve, and just pop it in a frame that night. I don't want to do that. I want to be done before and have it wrapped under the tree before Christmas Eve night. But I just heard something. Oh well. Anyways, so I dyed that myself. I dyed 3 pieces of Aida because I was gonna order, because I was like, I really want it to look like a map, right? And there's a lot of people that can dye fabrics, and I was gonna order one, but I didn't think it would get here in time. So I thought, I can't be the waste not, want not girl. I have tons and tons and tons of Aida, and it's never going to get used because of all the stashes I've bought, right? I've bought a lot of people's stashes, a lot of older ladies that cannot stitch anymore. I have bought from them. So I'm like, I have this Aida, why not try? So I was on the phone, on the phone, but on like Zoom, with my friend, I call her Nell, but her name is Janelle. Hey Janelle. I always call her Nell though, but she goes by Janelle, but I say Nell because of her Instagram is Nell. Anyhow, she was like, if you're gonna do it, make sure you wet your fabric and scrunch it up, and then make sure you do like a little drizzle on top before you put it back in the oven. So I did, and I'm really happy. So that was my second piece that was in that batch. This is the third one. I showed these on Instagram, and I was like, this one just looks like someone peed the bed. But I actually do like it. One side's like lighter than the other. So this one's the darker. This is where the pee would have, this is the second episode I've talked about pee. I need to stop being so rude. And then this is the other piece, which I just love this one. I love how this one turned out. I don't know when I'm gonna stitch on them, but now I have them, and now I know I can do it. And I don't know why I was so worried. I was like, no, you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. Or like, I don't know. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it, but I was like, when am I gonna do it if not now? So it happened. Yeah, I'm proud of myself. Just try. I didn't have coffee. All I had was some old green teas, and I just put 10 of them in a pot and boiled them. So use what you have. You never know, it might work out. Like, you might have a pea-spot piece, or you might have a great piece that works perfect like I do. That piece worked perfect. So last week I talked about my plans, and I was planning on stitching 'Tis the Season. Well, my goal was to kit it up, which I did not do. But I am going to be stitching this gal here. So I'm gonna stitch her for my older son's teacher. She's an amazing teacher. I always give them like their gift cards to Tim Hortons because they love their coffee, and also Dollarama because they buy so much stuff themselves for the classroom, and it's always like Dollar Tree, Dollarama, Walmart. So I always make sure I do those, but I always like to do like a little extra, like I'm doing some Christmas baking. I don't know if I'll include that this year because I don't know if they'll eat it or not because of the virus. But anyhow, I just thought, like, this reminds me of his teacher because I didn't know, but she loves to sing. She's a new teacher at the school, and my son got moved into her class later in the year. Like, he didn't join her class in September with everyone else. He was put in her class later because they had to move classrooms around, and none of his friends were in the class, and she's been wonderful and just amazing. And it was his birthday last week, and they're not allowed to sing at school, so there's been no singing at school. But when you're outside, you can sing, and so she sang happy birthday to him when they were outside, and the whole class just loved it and couldn't believe it. And it was like they had taken for granted hearing. We take things for granted all the time, but it's when you can't sing at school and you can't hear others sing at school, it's interesting how much they loved hearing her sing. And she has a beautiful voice from what I've heard, because like she couldn't sing for me, obviously. So now that I know that she loves singing, I was like, hey, I'm gonna stitch this girl because she's not a little girl, but she looks like my son's teacher. And I'm gonna just put just her, maybe a little snow underneath, and then the music notes like around. I'm gonna change the fa la la to just music notes and some snow for her, and maybe make it into a little ornament for her. And I think she'll really like that. But I really wanted to stitch this year, which I don't think I'm going to be able to. I don't think there's enough time for it, but I wanted to stitch it because it reminds me of my Christmas 2019 miracle. First of all, I keep track of Christmas miracles starting in 2018. I started to track them. And so I like write them down and I put them in a little Christmas box. I wish I'd done it all my whole life, but 2018 is when I started doing it. But I was really, really sick last year. I had what they called a weird case of pneumonia, but I couldn't leave my bed without being exhausted. I tried to walk from my bed to the washroom, which is 8 or 9 steps, and I was winded and sweating, and I had the worst body aches and a headache, and I did have pneumonia. And I mean, I have a good idea of what made me that sick for 3 weeks, like 3 weeks of not being able to walk, but let's just say they were not doing COVID tests back then. So I was in bed, and it was exactly a year ago today, actually. I came home from the hospital being like, whoa, I've never been that sick in my life. I couldn't even sleep because of how much pain and like the body ache pain. And Advil, Tylenol, nothing. I had heating pads all over me, nothing. Got rid of the pain. Anyhow, boring. So I just felt like I was missing Christmas because the house wasn't decorated, the cards weren't sent out, the presents weren't bought, nothing. I was so busy last year with photos. I missed my son's birthday party. That's how sick I was. Like, I would never. So I was feeling sorry for myself. As you do. Like, when you're sick, it's depressing, especially when it's a fun season and you're missing it. So my husband was putting the kids to bed, and I was just like pouting in my bed, and I could hear something outside. Like, I could hear singing outside, and I was like, what is that? And so I just right behind the headboard of our bed was the window. And so I'm like kneeling, hanging off the headboard, looking out, and I see carolers. And they started walking towards the house, but my husband was putting the kids to bed, so he couldn't answer the door. So I like opened the window, which again made me sweat just pushing the window open. And I was like, I can't come to the door. I have pneumonia. And it was so dramatic, right? And they were like, well, we're just gonna sing to you from here. And it was this group of young girls. I think they were brownies. One of those groups. And they sang me my own song. Oh, I'm gonna cry because it was really so nice of them. Anyways, whoa, I didn't know I was gonna cry. But it just like, it brought the Christmas magic and it brought the Christmas spirit, and they have no idea like what that did for me. I was just like the lady in the window that was like, I'm sick, and they were just singing because their leader told them to sing. But it was the most beautiful thing. I wish I took a picture of it, but I was just so in the moment. Whoa. Anyways, this makes me think of them. No one likes crying. Why am I crying on FlossTube? Anyways, I cried a lot of Christmas magic. Anyways, this was my Christmas Miracle 2020 or 2019. So well, that's why I wanted to stitch this. I am going to stitch it, and it is going to be representative of that beautiful singing they did for me. But yeah, that's why I wanted to stitch it. And I told you guys I would share the story of that. I did not tell you I was going to cry. But I am, because it's so beautiful. I cry when things are beautiful, and that is beautiful. Those little 12-year-old girls just singing to me. I'm in my window and just my own private concert. I'll never forget that. And yes, I was feeling sorry for myself, but they lifted me out of that. It was still, I'm sweating right now. Anyways, that's because I have the hat and the sweater on. Sorry I cried, guys. Anyhow, I have a little bit of haul, but I had to destroy it. I bought 2 charts off Marketplace, a woman that was selling them on Marketplace, and when I got home and I looked at them, they were photocopies. So I wasn't very happy about that, and I like vented to Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch about it because she is amazing and she listens to me when I vent. And there was like, you know how you get the like cartoon devil and angel? Like, I literally felt that because like the cartoon devil was like, just stitch it and then destroy it. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. Like, I consider myself someone with a lot of integrity, and the woman was like, you can bring them back. And I'm like, so you can keep up your illegal activity? No, thank you. I will certainly not be bringing them back. You can keep my $5. And actually it was 10, but I'm like, you know what? It's not worth going. My husband's like, just go back. He's like, just buy them new. And I'm like, yeah, I should have just bought them new to begin with. But when I saw them on Marketplace, I was so excited, and it wasn't worth the drive back to her place to get my money back. And I definitely gave her a warning though. Like, she was scared because she didn't mark them as sold. And that was like one of my first red flags. I was like, oh, she didn't mark these as sold. And I can tell that they're photocopies. So she's just trying to make money off of these designers' charts. I support our designers. I will not be stitching them. I have a shredder. I'm going to shred them. And actually, like, I ripped it in half, but I'm like, I'm just going to shred it because I don't need to be that dramatic and just like, how dare you steal from our designers. I'm just gonna shred them. But yeah, anyways, that was part of my haul, but like I said, has to be destroyed. And the other thing I bought, okay, there's a new designer. Here's a picture of it because I haven't actually printed it, but it is from an Etsy shop called Ghost Rocket Studio, and they are pretty local. They're Toronto, which, as you know, I'm Canadian. I live in Ontario, and they're new. It was literally $2.50 for this chart, and it's called Christmas 2020 Vibe. And it's Kevin McAllister from Home Alone with his grocery bags. And okay, if you watch Home Alone, you know he's walking home and like the bottoms of the bags just rip and all his groceries just fall out. And it's so defeating, right? I don't know why, but of everything that happened in the movie, I felt the most sorry for Kevin when that happened. Why that? Why the bags? Why not like his family left him? Like that should be the most upsetting part, but it was like, no, when the grocery bags ripped, I was like, oh, Kevin. Anyways, if you want to download the chart, I will link it in the description along with everything else that I've shown. I gotta figure out if I can edit out some of that crying I did. If I can't, guys, I'm sorry, it's just gonna be in there. I wanted to shout out a FlossTuber. I'm probably forgetting stuff because when I cried, I threw myself off, and now I'm like, oh, where was I? And all of this stuff I wanted to tell you. I don't know. I wanted to shout out Rolodex Stitcher because she gave me a shout out, and if you haven't watched her, you should. She's really fun. She does some fun projects. She does like glittery stuff, and she just like kind of floats. She's a floater. I call her a floater. I'm a floater too. She says she stitches, I love this philosophy. She stitches on things when she feels like joy from them or like excitement. Flutter. I believe it was flutter that she used. And I like that because I feel the flutter with certain things I stitch. And if she doesn't feel the flutter, she's not working on it. And I love that kind of method. We can call it the flutter method. Do you feel the flutter? Let me know in the comments if you feel the flutter. And also her daughter stitches, and her daughter had just done Tina from Bob's Burgers and it said butts, and it was so funny. Really funny. So thank you, and check her out. That is all, other than the fact that I bought this magazine for 25 cents, and it is so fun. It doesn't really say the name of what it is. It's called Enjoy Cross Stitch at Christmas. What the heck is this? Ugh. I don't know cross stitch favorites, but I don't know what brand it is. Well, whatever. It has some really, really cute ornaments. Like, look at these owls. And there's other like really simple, cute ones. I'm like panicking because I know that timer's gonna go off, but I still want to show you guys everything. And then we're gonna have the popsicle kid show up. So anyways, wow, we're long. This is long. It's because of the crying. Anyways, and maybe I'll tack on a tour of the holiday stuff for you guys to see. So thanks for hanging out with me. I love hanging out with you guys. Even though I cried. I know, just drop it. I need to drop the crying thing. It doesn't matter. Everyone cries. If you want to email me, my email address will be in the description. Some people don't like to leave comments on YouTube, or you just rather email. If you're working on something that I'm working on, send it to me. I am on Instagram at StitchuationNormal. And you can follow me on there if you'd like and see some of my adventures that I have there. And feel free to like this video, subscribe so you don't miss new videos. I'm gonna be back in 2 weeks with a different Christmas outfit, which I've already planned because we know I'm a participator. I participate. This is participation. Do you feel the spirit? These hats are magic. I love you guys, I really do. I hope that you are being safe right now. Oops, there we go. And are happy. That is what I want. I hope you smile lots, and I hope you have a great day and a great couple of weeks. Keep stitching your story, and I will see you next time. Bye. Okay, everyone, here I'm gonna start on the shelves. We have a lot of thrift store stuff. I get a lot of stuff at the thrift store, and I put a lot of family pictures up. So that's a family picture. This I found at the thrift store, and I had it when I was growing up. My mom had made it. It's one of those, like, it's puffy, like if you push on it, there's batting in it. And then thrift store, family, Christmas. We take a Christmas photo every year, okay? So that's why there's all these Christmas photos. And here's my first, well, my second cross stitch I ever did. My first one was a little tiny Rudolph, and then there was this one from Cross Stitcher magazine. And I even did the beads and everything. And I love that one. Finished it on there. Again, more, I get the frames at the thrift stores too. Waste not, want not, I'll say it a million times. This was from Winners though. And this garland was from Target when we had Target, which we do not have anymore. And then my Noel, I made this with my mom She has a church craft day, and so she always invites me to it, but they're not doing it this year, obviously. And there.